Hello everybody, my name is Bling and today we have more Warframe. Today we'll be taking a look at the Glaxion, and more specifically we'll be taking a look at running crit on your Glaxion. Now you might be thinking, Bling, why would you ever run crit on your Glaxion? It has such awful crit stats. And half of that is true. As you can see, it has a very abysmal 8.0 crit chance, but it has a very average multiplier of 2.0. So if we were able to get a decent amount of critical chance, we could make decent use of this crit multiplier. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to compare a crit and a status build and see which outperforms the other. So without further ado, looking at the status build, we are running 100% status, obviously with some added raw elemental damage on the side. We will be testing this against some level 105 corrupted heavy gunners. These are sorely level enemies, so it will be a pretty decent baseline. Now keep in mind, you will be doing blast procs with this, so it will be a bit annoying to actually aim at the head and attempt to kill the enemies. However, for your condition overload melee, it does quite good things for it. As you can see, we were able to strip all the armor off of this heavy gunner pretty quickly. Well, not really quickly, but in decent time. But as you can see, the general damage of this build isn't that high. But like I said, it definitely problems the enemies for your condition overload melee pretty well. So that didn't really give us the type of damage that we want. So let's see what we can do with a crit build. Now this will be the crit build that I'm using. It is just taking off 2 of the dual stats in exchange for the average or the basic crit mods. And we will see how this performs against these enemies. Now since we are not running blasts, we can aim at the head freely without any worries. Oh, this is gas. Oops, my fault. Let me go change that real quick. I think I was running gas on this for Corpus, and I'll be switching back to it in a bit because I'm going to test Corpus as well. There we go. Let's kill these enemies again. Resimulate. Now we'll be able to see it. Like I said, no blast procs, so we can aim at the head freely. And yeah, it does a bit better. And by a bit, like a lot. Now, 20% crit chance isn't very consistent for most people, which is completely understandable. But this definitely outperforms the status build in terms of just doing raw damage. And it still does a lot of status. So you can definitely just stop shooting. You run out of ammo or something, you can just stop shooting and you can just do good damage with your condition overload melee. So yeah, it does do quite a bit better than the 100% status build. I would even go as far to say that if you were able to get a good crit ribbon for this weapon, or if you were to use Harrow, a Kavat, or Arcane Avenger, or whichever the arcane is that increases your critical chance, and you could get, I would say at least 30% or higher critical chance, you could actually turn this into a pretty average weapon. Right now it's pretty mediocre, or well, I guess some people think that, or some people will say that mediocre is the same as average, so we'll say this is a below average weapon. With a good crit setup, getting you at a high crit chance, you could possibly turn this into a pretty average weapon, maybe even a pretty good weapon. So yeah, that's something that's pretty cool. We will test a gas build real quick against the Corpus and see what we can do with that. We will be testing this on the techs. The techs have 2 times the health of regular crewmen, I believe. So if we're going to test on anything, it's going to be on these guys. And we will see how this performs against them. Gas proc took care of that guy, and the other one, let's see. Nice. We only had to actually shoot and kill 2 of them, and gas procs handle the rest of them. So you can definitely turn this into a pretty good weapon, pretty average weapon with a good crit setup. And it's a lot stronger than the status setup that I was using anyway. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you can take another look at this weapon, maybe take a look at its crit and see if you can get a very high crit on it and see how well it performs for you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.